welcome back. Is that the correct way to say it? Welcome back to our next episode of Sunday Prem. Yes, I know we've been out for a little bit, but I hope we're back on track with our weekly videos. It's been a time. I need to say a lot of things has been happening in our parish. It kept us really busy. So we are really happy that it's coming slowly to a summer mode for us. But yeah, there are still a couple more things that are happening. Like right now, this week, we had our Bible camp, which always, every single year, it's amazing to see little ones not only coming to be together, but also learn about their faith and the journey that they are picking up because of the great gift parents are giving. So that's amazing. And there's still more things to come, but still one thing at a time. Make it slow, at least as much as we possibly can. And yeah, that's what's been on through the parish. Now, before we go in any further, Jim, how are you doing? Because you are one of us running around too.
I'm good, Father. Thank you. I'm in, yeah, you mentioned a Bible camp, right? Bible camp kind of takes over the week. And this is, I think most people are kind of familiar with like summer Bible camps. And, a lot of churches have some version of something like this. But here at St. Cecilia's, I mean, we're doing our 150th celebration this year. Bible camp hasn't been going for 150 years, but it's been going for a long time. I think it's north of 40 years that it's been going on, which is kind of remarkable. So, like I said, I think most people are aware that it happens, but if you're not like, maybe like your kids are a little older, or you don't have kids yet, or you know what I mean, like you're not in that space for like the little kids, you can easily like not realize that this happens, but woo, when it happens, it happens. It's it's a party. We have like over 50 kids, over 20 like teen and adult volunteer helpers, and yeah, it's for a week long. It's a lot of singing, a lot of crafting, and a lot of Jesus, and a lot of but it's been good. Yeah, we've had some fun times this week so far.
Yeah, and as always, you know how our parish is. The bulletin never stops to be filled with more things that are happening, and I hope more and more will be involved because that's what it is, and that's what we're called to be involved in the life of our parish community, and the more, the merrier. So, little bit there. If you have something that you can offer, and we all do some of the gifts that God has given us. Yes, bring them in, bring them to our parish community. But as we are talking here, we are here to talk about the scriptures and all that the scriptures are giving us. And this weekend we celebrate not only the Lord's Day but also a solemnity which will celebrate and remember Saint Peter and Saint Paul, two great figures from the early church. And I need to say, not only early church, but throughout the time since our Lord Jesus returned to the Father and entrusted the mission to the apostles. Peter as one chosen to be the person in charge, if you will, to put it in our words today, and Paul, who was not a good person in the beginning for Christians, but then yeah, the call was stronger than he, and he changed, received the call, and turned to the Lord, and received so many things. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But I'm gonna share something with you because the solemnity of Saint Peter and Saint Paul is very strong for me, very home bringing. And I need to say that because my home parish that I was growing up in, that I received all my sacraments and all my faith formation and my childhood, my youth, my early time as a seminarian preparing for priesthood. That's where I grew up in the parish of Saint Peter and Paul. And this weekend, actually, my parish, is celebrating 100th anniversary of the church building. Okay, let me make that clear, because 100 years ago, or a little bit more than that, the previous church burned. It was wooden church, candles and all this stuff. There was no electrical power. So for those who are thinking, oh, maybe it was a spark from electrical failure. No, it wasn't that. It was the candle that was burning there, and that's what happened. Because my parish is almost 380 years old. So it's an old parish. But the churches, so this is the third church actually of of our parish, of my parish community. So accidents happen, and it happened to the church too. What's funny, it wasn't much destroyed during the war. So thank God for that. But yeah, natural causes or a mistake happen. So anyway, so that's the reason why for me it will be a very home-bringing weekend, which I'm very happy, and I'm praying for my parish community, all my people who are there with whom I was growing up with, and led me where I am here now with you guys. So it's a very special thing. So why I'm saying this, because I want to ask all of you to pray for my parish community, because it's home, and those are the people that sent this crazy guy far away with the mission of Christ. So that's what the parish community does, and that's what the mission of all of us is here at St. Cecilia as well. All right. So going to the scriptures, going to one we'll be hearing, and we'll be hearing about not only Paul and Peter, but also what the faith was for them, like eye-opening and revealing. And focusing on the gospel, we hear the profession of faith that Peter did first of all of them. We'll hear. Jesus asking the apostles, "Who do people say that I am?" A question comes from Jesus, and they will be coming with all different answers from what others say. Then what Peter does is respond. He responds from his own experience, what he experiences, what he feels, and what he wants others to know. And he says, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." To profess our faith and saying this to Jesus. I'm like, what would happen for me, if Jesus asked me, "Who do you say that I am?" And for me, probably it would be easy to say, "You are the Christ. You are the Son of the living God. You are the Messiah. You are the one sent to redeem us from our mistakes, from our sins." But then when I'm looking at my at the reading and here you know, the question once again, I'm like, I want to profess that, but not only to Jesus, who will be standing in front of me. My mission today, and as it is a mission of all of us, is to say to one another that Christ is the one, Christ is the Son of God, Christ is the one sent to redeem us from our faults, from our sins, from eternal death. And that is the mission of the church. And you see, as more and more growing up in the faith, and that applies to me as well. It's not like, after graduating, receiving a degree, I'm done with studying and growing in faith. It continues. And that's what my mind is overwhelmed with. What is the mission? What is the response that I give? You are the Christ. You are the church. You are the ones called to return into the eternal kingdom God has prepared from the foundation of the world. And that's the mission of every single one of us, to respond, to say that, with conviction, with love, with care, with offering of all that we have, and do it with amazing joy, to be blessed by the God's grace, by all the gifts that we need to do that. And trust me, there are so many of them beyond our understanding, and sometimes even beyond our knowing. And that's what's beautiful in all the mission that we're called. So I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna pass it on to Jem to share his thoughts for this weekend.
Hmm. Yeah, Father, this gospel reading, right? Matthew chapter 16 is like the go-to text for Catholics when talking about uh the papacy and kind of like, why do you have a pope and why do you have to listen to that guy, and for us as Catholics, we kind of appeal to this primarily, this text where Peter makes this great confession of faith and Jesus appoints him as this first pope, right? That you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church. And so it's a very familiar text, I think, to a lot of us. But I was just thinking, I couldn't help as you were talking, and I was kind of like looking at the text a little bit. That like I think it's easy for me, and I've definitely done this before, but I'm kind of reflecting on it maybe a little differently at the moment. But when Jesus asked the question, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" and then it continues here. They replied, some say John the Baptist, others Elijah, still others Jeremiah, one of the prophets. He said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter said in reply, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." There's a tendency, like in my mind, to think something like, almost like as a classroom. I'm picturing like, even like Bible camp, right? Like you're in a class with a bunch of little kids, and you ask a question, and you're like, who's the first president? And then someone's like, Abraham Lincoln. No, that's wrong. Grover Cleveland. You're not even close. Like, Donald Trump. No, what are we doing? And then some kid just shouts out, George Washington. You're like, boom, you're right. You get to be Pope. And you're like, what? So my mind kind of initially kind of thinks a little bit like, did Peter just kind of like guess well? Like, are all of the disciples here like answering the question and they're just like, we don't know, like John the Baptist, Jeremiah, like we don't know. And then he's just like, the Son of God. And you're like, congratulations, ding, 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 you win a prize, you'll be the Pope. And yeah, I don't think that's actually what's happening though. So my thought initially is to kind of think of it like that, like, oh, Peter, like you get to be Pope because you just answered Jesus's pop quiz question correctly, and because of that, you win the prize. And the other apostles are like, oh, shucks, I guess I'll just have to be a bishop somewhere. um, so, but I don't think that's it. So where am I getting with this? We refer to this as Peter's great confession of faith. And so it's not his great answering of the question correctly. So the question, as you said, Father, that like Jesus asked the disciples, but he also asked us, like, who do you say that the Son of Man is? Who do you say that I am? It's a question we all have to wrestle with. And I think it's easy as, people of faith today, Catholics today, well-formed, moderately well-formed, kind of somewhat informed Catholic people, to kind of say something like, if we were asked a question like on the street, like, who is Jesus? And we'd be like, oh, I know the answer to the question. The answer to the question is, he's the Son of God. And you're like, ding, 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 gold star, I get to be Pope now. Um, I don't think that's how the conclave worked. I don't think that's how Pope Leo was just like, I know the answer. I know the answer in the conclave. No, no, no. All right. So back to being more serious. So what is the actual like proper response? Well, yeah, it is to kind of say like the right answer, which is that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God. But it's a confession of faith. It's a movement of the heart. It's a belief that goes to the core of who we are, to kind of recognize that that Jesus is Lord, and to be able to kind of live in accord with that. And I think that's something that is much, much harder. So Peter's response here, well, on the surface, I think can sound like, a kindergartner shouting out the right answer, and then he gets the gold star and gets to be Pope forever. Well, not forever, but you know what I mean. But it's something far deeper. And I think the trap, or the danger we can fall into is to be Catholics who just want to get the right answer. Like, I know the answer. Jesus is the Son of God. But what does that mean to the core of my being, to the depths of my personal faith? Like, do I truly believe that he's the Son of God? Am I just getting the answers right because like I studied well for the test and I just want to get a gold star? Or is it because there's something deeper here that I'm recognizing in the Lord Jesus, and then confessing from the depths of my heart that he is the Christ, the Son of the living God? And I think that's I think that's a deeper question to wrestle with for this weekend. So when we're kind of reflecting on the gospel and considering, who do people say that I am? Um, I know for me that the easy trap is to be like, I know the answer, and like Catechism, paragraph 1280, whatever. And you just like, that's helpful, that's nice, but that's a classroom answer. But Jesus is not like, he doesn't save us by way of a classroom. He saves us by way of the cross and kind of living out the Paschal mysteries. And so that confession of faith, I think, is something that we need to kind of more deeply consider this weekend.
Yeah. And the same as Peter, as all of us, we need to take it to heart, like you said, and take it from there, because he became one of us. He offered himself for us, and he's asking of us to do the same, to follow the call, the ways of God, alive, not as a book page and words, but to live, truly live, the holiness, the greatness that comes from heaven. So, with that being said, we see the example of people just like us, Peter and Paul, who were the first, one of the first, to take that uh, call and live the life and achieve the greatness, not that the world gives, but the one that comes from heaven. And let us take the example, of them and all others who did the same and follow Christ in their life here, and they were welcomed into great joy of heaven. So, with that being said, we'll see you all Sunday. Stay warm or cool, depends on the day, because we forgot the weather channel, or upgrade,
Yeah.
or update, and not upgrade, update in the beginning. So, with that being said, with the joy and blessing for the summer months, if you're traveling, be well, be safe, and all that you need, ask the Lord. He is there to provide. God bless you all. See you Sunday. Bye bye.